Hi, and welcome to Scenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
Let's talk about chronic insomnia. You know, it's so much more than just a few nights of tossing and turning. It's a real, persistent condition, but here's the good news. It has a specific cause and, more importantly, a really effective solution. So let's dive right in. Oh, we've all been there, right? That awful feeling of just watching the clock, knowing you have to be up in a few hours, but your brain just refuses to shut down. But what happens when that one frustrating night becomes every night?
And this is where it gets official. The key is that pattern, at least 3 nights a week for 3 months or more. That's the line in the sand that separates a rough patch from a diagnosable medical condition. We're not talking about a stressful week. This is a long-term problem that needs a real strategy. So how do you know if you've crossed that line? What are the actual signs that a few bad nights have turned into something more? Well, it's not just about what happens after you turn the lights out.
And this is the connection that really matters. The struggles you have at night, lying awake for what feels like forever, waking up over and over, they don't just disappear when the sun comes up. No, they spill over and fuel the daytime misery, that constant fatigue, the irritability, the brain fog. It's a full 24-hour cycle.
So how does a temporary sleep problem get so stuck? Why does it stick around?
It's not just bad luck. There's actually a pretty predictable pattern that explains how a few sleepless nights can morph into a really stubborn, long-term habit.
And that pattern is often explained using a framework that sleep specialists call the 3P model. It's a way to understand exactly how a temporary sleep issue gets locked in and becomes chronic. It's really a 3-step cycle.
Okay, so first you've got your predisposing factors. Maybe you're just a natural worrier, or maybe poor sleep runs in your family. Then a precipitating event happens. That's the trigger. Could be a big project at work, getting sick, anything stressful. But here's the most important part.
Thank you for watching
the
Scenario.
perpetuating
If this
behaviors.
video helped you, don't
These
forget
are the
to
things
like,
we do to try and fix
subscribe,
the
and
problem,
share.
like
For
staying in bed for
personalized mental
hours trying
wellness
to force
supplements,
sleep
visit
that actually just end up feeding the insomnia.
See you in the next one.
All right, so if insomnia is this vicious cycle of thoughts and behaviors, how in the world do you break it? This is where we have to move way beyond all that generic advice you've probably heard a million times before.
You know the stuff I'm talking about, sleep hygiene. Dim the lights, avoid caffeine, have a dark room. And look, those things are helpful. But for true chronic insomnia, the research is crystal clear. On its own, it's just not enough. To break the cycle, you need a structured approach that tackles the root of the problem. And that treatment has a name. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBT-I for short. And this isn't some new experimental thing. It is the #1 first-line gold standard treatment recommended by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. It's the real deal.
So what is it exactly? Well, you can think of CBT-I as a training program for your brain and body. It's a structured way to identify and replace those perpetuating thoughts and behaviors we just talked about. It's all about unlearning the bad habits that are keeping you awake. Okay, so how does CBT-I actually rewire your brain for sleep? It's not just one magic trick. It's a whole toolkit of powerful techniques that work together to get your sleep system back on track. A full CBT-I program has a few different parts, but for right now, we're going to zero in on the 2 behavioral tools that usually pack the biggest punch and get the fastest results: sleep restriction and stimulus control. First up is sleep restriction, and I'll warn you, this one sounds totally backwards at first. You're struggling to sleep, so the solution is to spend less time in bed? Yes, exactly. The whole point is to build up a really powerful natural sleep drive. Think of it like being hungry for sleep. By limiting your time in bed, you concentrate that drive so that when you do go to bed, your body is absolutely ready for solid sleep. Let's look at a quick example. Imagine your sleep diary shows you're only actually sleeping about 5 hours a night, even if you're lying in bed for 8. So, with a wake-up time of 7 a.m., your new temporary bedtime becomes 2 a.m. Now, it's definitely tough at first, but what it does is it consolidates your sleep into one solid block. Then, once your sleep gets more efficient, you slowly start adding more time back in bed. The second powerhouse tool is called stimulus control. See, for people with chronic insomnia, the bed is no longer a cue for sleep. It's become a place associated with frustration, anxiety, and being wide awake.
These rules are designed to break that negative connection and retrain your brain to see your bed as a place for sleep, and pretty much only sleep.
And the rules are super simple, but so powerful. Only go to bed when you feel that sleepy feeling coming on. Don't use your bed for anything else. No work, no scrolling on your phone. And here's the big one. If you're lying there awake for what feels like 20 minutes, get up. Go do something quiet and calming in low light, and only come back to bed when you feel sleepy again. This stops your bed from being a battlefield.
Now, CBT-I is absolutely the core of the treatment, but there are definitely other habits and tools that can support your progress and make that journey back to good sleep a little smoother. And this is where that classic sleep hygiene advice we talked about really comes in handy. Things like getting bright light first thing in the morning to set your body clock, cutting out caffeine in the afternoon, keeping your room cool, dark, and quiet. All of these are fantastic supportive habits. They create the perfect environment for the heavy-hitting techniques of CBT-I to do their work.
So, what about sleeping pills? Well, medication can be a really useful bridge. It can give you some short-term relief so you can function during the day, all while you're learning the long-term skills from CBT-I. But it's generally not seen as the permanent long-term fix for chronic insomnia.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here. What chronic insomnia is, how it gets stuck, and the absolute best way to treat it. So let's wrap this all up with some clear, practical steps you can take.
If you take away just one thing, let it be this. If you're struggling, you are not broken, and you are definitely not alone. Chronic insomnia is a very treatable condition. That exhaustion and frustration you feel right now, it does not have to be your forever. You absolutely can take control and break the cycle.
So, what can you do right now? First, try keeping a sleep diary for a couple of weeks just to see your patterns. You can start applying those stimulus control rules tonight. If you're not asleep, get out of bed. It's also worth looking into digital CBT-I programs. Many are proven to work and are super accessible. And of course, most importantly, if insomnia is really impacting your life, please talk to your doctor.
Look, the path to better sleep starts with understanding what's really going on and knowing that proven solutions are out there. It definitely takes some work, but breaking free from the cycle of chronic insomnia is totally possible. So the only real question left is, are you ready to reclaim your nights?
Thank you for watching Scenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit scenario.com. See you in the next one.